Chris Stevenson along with Terry Koshin here in Ufa, Russia for the World Junior Championship. Terry, we saw Team Canada finally get the tournament underway, much anticipated for the hockey-starved Canadians back home who've been deprived of their NHL fix. And Canada wins 9-3 over the Germans. I thought, one of the questions coming into this game, coming into this tournament, was whether or not Team Canada was going to have the offensive depth to be able to get things done. The top line of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Jonathan Huberdeau and Mark Scheifele came through wonderfully, combining for 10 points. Anything else you see good coming out of this game for Canada?
Well, yeah, Chris, for sure that. The top line having to play like that and really against Germany, they don't absolutely have to, but it's a great sign. And then the fact the scoring was spread out. 8 different goal scorers today. A couple defensemen to get in on it, Willett and Wotherspoon. So Canada's going to need that type of production going forward. That's clear. Whether they're going to score 9 goals again, probably not. They might be able to run it up a bit against Slovakia, but from an offensive standpoint, it's exactly what Steve Spott wanted. Interesting,
too, that after the game, Steve Spott said that goaltender Malcolm Subban's going to be his guy going forward through the tournament unless a disaster happens, frankly.
Yeah, and he had planned that pre-tournament. He had said that back in Calgary, Chris, that the guy that he was going to tab as a starter from game 1 would be the guy going through, and that hasn't happened for Canada since Carey Price played every minute in 2007. Canada won gold. Usually a guy gets in to play a weaker team. He gets in and gets that one game. But with Canada playing Germany right off the bat, and now Slovakia, you have the real tough ones coming against the Americans on Russians and on the 30th and 31st. You can't afford to throw the backup in now. Yeah. It's Subban's ball to run with, and a lot of how Canada does will rest on his shoulders.
What did you see? What was the sense coming out of the Team Canada camp after the game in terms of the aspects of their game that they need to work on for the Slovakians on Friday?
There's a defensive part of it that they have to get better on, and that's really clamping down in their own zone. And Spott wasn't happy with the way that Canada didn't do that. His words, they were soft on coverage a bit. And I'm curious to see how that goes on through this whole tournament, Chris, because I know that one thing that a lot of people who watch the Subway Series in November to Canada and Russia, one thing that people said about that was, who watched all the games, was that the Russians had no trouble going to the net, whether they're playing the West, the Ontario League, or the Quebec League. Canadian defensemen this year in this age group just don't have that physical element. That's fine against Germany. It's likely going to be fine against Slovakia, but I'm curious to see how that's going to play out against teams like the Americans and the Russians.
Well, that's a little bit ahead for Team Canada. Friday, they take on the Slovaks. We'll look if they can address some of those burning questions that they've got in terms of, I thought they looked a little disorganized in their end at times, too, in terms of moving the puck. The top line got hemmed in by the Germans, who aren't an overly quick team, in my opinion. So it's going to be interesting to see how Team Canada improves. For all your coverage of the World Junior Championship, you can follow our videos on all the different Sun websites. Catch up with our latest stories on slam.ca as well. In Ufa, Russia, covering the World Junior Championship for the QMI agency, I'm Chris Stevenson, along with Terry Koshin.